Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today with us we have a outstanding actress and outstanding person all in general. We got Miss Anna Xaden. How are you doing today?
I am good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. Long days, but I'm pretty good.
Awesome.
So before we get into the movies and all that, good gory stuff, kind of take us back a little bit. You can choose whichever age you want to start with, but what was your first fondest memory of movies and what kind of take us along your journey to what got you to where you are today?
Well, I remember when I was like 5, I don't know, I was obsessed with the Never-Ending Story.
Mm.
So I would run around the living room. I'd set up pillows to look like Falcor and all that. So, but I also remember I wanted to be a newscaster when I was like 5 as well. So we had this box that I cut the front out of to look like a TV. And we had this really noisy paper, which I later found out was tracing paper. And I like rattle it and stuff and tell these fake news stories to my parents. They sit and watch it and they're like, okay. But I think my first big love was when I found horror at age 5, which I wasn't supposed to see. But they had a TV in my room and I found HBO. So the first one I saw was Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was hooked on horror after that. It's like that's been my main thing since then. But yeah, I don't know. My mom told me when I was 4, I told her, evidently, I walked up and I said, I'm not living here forever. I'm moving to California and I'm going to be an actress. And she's like, oh, you go do that. And the funny thing is, she always thought, okay, yeah, but it kind of happened. So she's like, I should have known you were serious. So yeah. But after Nightmare on Elm Street, I started like sneaking other show movies and stuff. And they had no idea what was going on, but I just knew I wanted to do that. So
Oh,
I haven't taken any, well, I've seen like seminars and stuff on different acting types. But other than that, I never really got to do it until I was 25.
okay.
So, yeah. But as a kid, I was always like running around making up stories in my head and like playing them out and stuff. And my parents got me this little camera that was a Polaroid, and I'd like go take pictures of myself when I was younger too, like dead pictures, which really scared my parents. Well, my mom. My mom wouldn't let my dad see them, but she's like, "You don't need to do this." And then I found out there was a cemetery near my house. So I like rode my bike over to it and took pictures by the gravestones when I was a kid. And yeah, I went back. I was like, "Look what I did!" No. So yeah, I gave my parents fits with this stuff when I was young, but I don't know. It's like something I just felt like I always wanted to do because I like becoming other people. So
Oh,
it's I don't know, and I still do. So it's just now I get to play parts that are a little more intense than as a child on my swing set. And there was one thing I used to watch was The Worst Witch,
mm,
and it was a TV show. So I got the weird idea from that to take a broomstick to our swing set. I took my cat out there and I was holding the cat. I sat like side saddled on the swing, and I went up and down acting like I was flying. And I did this all afternoon one day. And my mom finally came out there. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm flying on my broom." So that was always fun. And she knew I was a weird kid at that point. And she's like, "All right, go fly on your broom." So
uh, that's awesome.
yeah. So I've always had a big imagination.
All right. Well, I mean, those are always the kind of childhoods that make awesome actors and actresses. So,
True. Yep.
uh, so kind of because I know that you have other professions that you've done and stuff like that. So little birdie said that you were a body piercer at one point.
Yes, I was a body piercer like from, well, full force. I learned back in 2002. And then about 2007, that's when I started getting more into it. 2008, I was full-fledged into piercing in California. And then from California, I went to New York. First shop I went in, I got a job. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I had so much fun doing it that it was my career for a good like 19 years.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I still do it on the sideline for fun, mostly on myself, but
Uh,
yeah. But yeah, I just want to keep the practice up because you never know what you're going to need to do in the future. So, and
exactly.
that, I don't know, that living in New York doing that, I met so many people throughout the world and got to hear different stories from all over the place. And I love that part of it. It's like talking to people about their lives. And usually all these conversations went on in like a matter of 5 minutes because that's how long it would take for all the setup and piercing and everything. But I made a lot of friends that way. Before that, the piercing, I was actually working at a stamp and sign factory in
Hmm.
Tennessee, and that's how I met Donald Farmer. He came to work there. And I didn't really know he did movies. Like there was rumors going around, but it wasn't the type of movies that he does. Like everybody had their little side stories. I'm like, really? So he came up to me one day. He said, I have a part for you in a movie. I was like, what kind of movie are we talking? So but yeah, like I worked with him on Chainsaw Cheerleaders that year. It was 2007 when we worked on it. And it was crazy because every time I had to do the scenes, I was very sick from like, okay, so an apartment dropped some liquid in my apartment downstairs, and it turns out it was a lot of meth. So I got really sick, ended up in the hospital and everything. Right after I got out of the hospital, I headed to Georgia to film. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to act like I'm fine. I did the scenes really well. And then right after we wrapped, I was like, oh, dude, my lungs hurt so bad. Donald was like, what's going on? I said, well, this guy upstairs dropped his whole meth lab in my apartment. So he was like, oh, wow. Okay. So why your lungs hurt? I said, because I was asleep when it happened and I was breathing that in for like a whole night and I didn't know. So, because my room was in the back of the apartment and you couldn't hear anything in the front. And I was just like breathing this stuff in. And he's like, why did you come film if you feel so bad? I said, because I wanted to do it. But then I didn't act again after that until I think 2012 or 13. And that was with James Balsamo. So that was a surprise because he lived in Long Island at the time, and I was in, I think, where was I? I was in Queens at the time. So Donald gave him my number and stuff, and he called one day while I was at work, and I was like, "Who is this?" So, and he explained, he's like, "I was told to hire you." So that was my first movie part was on Cool as Hell, which didn't end up. My scene didn't end up in the movie, but it's on the deleted scenes on the DVD. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And after that, I didn't work again until 2017. So
Hmm.
it was a big, like, kind of sporadic times back then. But now, since 2022, that's when I really kind of started taking off with the stuff because I got over my fear of what if I do okay and more people want me to film and I can't make it. So I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. It's like that was a hard part about me was I was stopping myself from doing what I wanted to do.
Oh yeah.
But once I got over that fear, I was like, hey, I'm gonna put myself out there.
Oh yeah. And looking at your IMDb, it does look like you've worked with the who's who in the entertainment world right now, especially on the independent scene.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I'm
so
so lucky to have.
is there a moment to where you realized that you finally have started living your dream of being an actress?
Pretty much when I got to meet other actors on set. And that was with Darby's Scream House, which yeah, that one. So Donald called me out of the blue and he's like, well, I have a part for you. One of my actresses can't do it. So I was like, all right. And he sent me the script and I'm reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in the whole movie. So I was like, oh man. And then I found out who all I was going to be working with, which is like Jessa Jupiter Flux, Mel Heflin, and like all these people that were going to be on set. And I kind of started freaking out on the way to Tennessee for it, but they all made me feel so comfortable. I was like, okay, they're really nice people. So, and we've all been friends since. So that's pretty awesome. But I remember sitting on set and we're like acting out a part, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on a movie set. So, but it was crazy because I had never been with actresses that I was actually a fangirl of. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
and I told them that I was like, y'all, I'm such fans of y'all. I can't believe I'm meeting you people and working with you. So they're like, wow, okay. So yeah, it was interesting. Took a little bit to get into the character full force, but once I got into it, it was goofy times. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and that was coming out in January. So
That's
definitely check it out. It's hilarious.
oh yeah. Uh, so speaking of working with people, you and I actually have a mutual friend. I was in part
Mhm.
four, you were in part five, and that's Kevin Jensrowski.
Yes.
So you were in Creep Footage 5. As a matter of fact, you were the opening scene.
Yeah.
You know, uh, kind of how did you get into that character? Because Kevin gives us freedom to do what we want.
Yeah, he pretty much told me, he's like, come up with the character. I was like, well, I'm feeling a little unhinged today. So I went in our wood shop and I filmed the first part where I'm sitting there like talking about Lizzie and Apple, and I'm holding up these tools and stuff. I'm like, want to play? So the I sent it to him. He's like, oh my gosh, that's creepy. I said, thank you. So after that, I was trying to think. He's like, I want you to do more scenes. And the opening scene where I'm carving my chest, like, that was interesting. That one, I was sitting there. I was like, what could I do? I was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing more unhinged than like carving something into your chest to like signify your love for someone. So I did the apple in my chest with the arrow through it.
Oh yeah.
And I sent that to him. He's like, wow. And then he's like, this is a first for any of my movies, too. He's like, there's been no nudity in my movies.
I've seen his movies, it's true.
Yes. But yeah, he told me it's going to be in the opening scene. I was like, well, that's awesome. Like, I was in part three as well, but that was just like a slideshow of photos that I had taken. But this one, man. I was like, how can I go off the charts? And yeah, after that, we got my med switch, but it worked out for that moment. So I was like I can't show my mom that stuff either. So she doesn't. She only knows I do good stuff. I'm like, yeah, you don't need to see the harsher side of me.
Well, I mean, that's respectful. So,
Yeah,
mm,
exactly. I think she'd have a heart attack, and I don't want that to happen. So
that's also respectful. So is there a moment in any of the films that you have filmed so far that are out for people to see that stands out to you as like one of your favorites, or is it just like it all comes together and it's all your favorite? I know that's a hard question, but still, I'm sorry.
um, Hmm. Well, there is one. I don't know when it's going to be released, but it's my favorite because it's my first time to successfully scream. And it was Were Shark. That's another Donald Farmer film that was teamed up with segments from other people. So that one, I was filming with Curtis Everett. He had the camera and everything, and he was playing the Were Shark in that scene. Well, I look over, like, we went out to the woods, which was also a lake near my house, and we found out the boardwalk was closed. So I was like, well, let's just find a side spot. And I looked over, I was like, that part's creepy. Let's go up in there. So I step out and I smell something really sweet. I was like, there's snakes up in here. Because like copperheads smell sweet. And then we get down there, and right before we start my scene where I'm dying, I look over, I see tons of snake eggs that had been burst open. I was like, oh my gosh, we're surrounded by snakes somewhere out here. And I hit the ground. Something moved under me, which turned out to be like a stick or a rock or something. And I go to town screaming. And I showed one of my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, what was he doing to you? I said, nothing. I said, I thought there was a snake under my back. So after that, it's like that unlocked a new scream for me, and I've been able to do that scream since. So it's like awesome. So that would be my favorite moment was dying by the were shark at that point because I was just like screaming my head off, and it was so loud. I'm sure anybody in the woods could hear it, and they were like, "Somebody's dying."
Uh, so speaking of like dying on camera and stuff like that, there a way that you see one of your characters kind of getting off that hasn't happened yet? And I don't want you to get in trouble for spoiling anything, so don't spoil anything if it's been filmed. But just what would be your dream death scene?
Oh man, I don't know. Like I wanted to get to the point where I had a death scene, so I've never really thought about that, but I would say something really extreme and brutal. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like I would say something sort of Elizabeth Bathory like, but a little more deranged.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I am quite familiar with that. With that,
Yeah.
yep.
No, I
Uh,
like saw that in Hostel. And what's strange is I should have thought that's disturbing. Instead, I was like, wow, that's beautiful. I mean, but I want to do something like that, but a little more extreme.
oh
So I
yeah,
think that would be fun.
oh yeah. Uh, so where would you say you want your career to like be in 10 years from now?
I want to be able to do any type of character. I really want to get into like suspense type thriller movies. Something really just psychotic all the way through, where I have
Okay,
to push my limits of everything and be like, okay, I got to come back to reality after this. So
oh
that's
yeah,
like one of my dreams is to hit a point like that. But I like doing other types of characters other than horror too. Like I've been in comedies and stuff, so that's a lot of fun.
okay,
And I don't know. I want to see what all I could get to with each character. But mainly, I like playing characters that I have in my head because it's like they're there. But
oh yeah,
I also like taking myself out of my comfort zone and playing characters that I've never thought of playing. So, romance, not so much. Don't really want to do romance. but
I
but
don't
like the
blame you.
creepier stuff. Yeah, like I got to do sort of an action film this year, and it went on YouTube. It's called S. Is part of the Dr. S trilogy, and that one we filmed all in my yard, but every it looks like the woods. So that one, I was playing a part called Omega, and that one pretty much like she was going looking for this character she had to assassinate and stuff. So that was pretty fun, and I scared the neighbor because I was holding this big gun. I was like, "Stop! I'll shoot!" And this kid turns and stares at me. I was like, "Oh no, no, you're fine." And he ran inside. So I was like, "Oops."
Oh,
But that was also the first time working with green screens, so that was a little weird, but it was fun. I want to do more action stuff too. So
oh yeah. Uh, so what advice would you give to people who are trying to get into the industry, whether it be acting, directing, producing, or anything like that?
definitely make connections with people that you admire their work and kind of just get to know them. Talk to them about like things you have ideas for and kind of get feedback.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. My dog just came running downstairs. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, my cat just meowed at you too. So
So with where you are in your career today, would you say that you're satisfied? And what really keeps you going and drives you to want to do the next film, the next, whatever you got going on?
well, the way I look at it is becoming other people for a short time, it kind of gets me out of my headspace. And that's been my driving point mostly is I want to become somebody else for a little bit. So
Oh
doing
yeah.
movies is the perfect way to do it. Because otherwise you do that and people are like, oh, you need to go get locked up in the Wahoo bus. So it's like, but no, and I like meeting people too. So that's another thing is the excitement of meeting people and working with them, seeing how we like go back and forth on the characters and just I don't know. It's all like it's like make believe, but a reality of it. So that's really fun to me.
Oh yeah. Uh, so here's a question I haven't asked a lot of people, but who, if there was ever a movie based off of your life, who do you see playing you?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. They'd have to be completely insane at parts because my life has been woo. It's been a roller coaster of crazy, and I really don't know who could pull that off. It's like because I mean, some of the stories I tell people that have happened to me all over the United States, they're like, "That can't be possible," and I say, "Go get the reference from this person," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that really happened." So I don't know. It would have to be somebody that who could do it? I honestly don't know.
Well, I mean, that's a good answer. Actually, that's a great answer because
Yeah.
it's like
They'd
you
have to
don't
have
want
so many different qualities that had to like mix into one character. So that would be it'd be a challenge, definitely. That would be a long time of a
to.
audition for people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple of your movies. I see you've done some fan films. One actually I've seen a while ago.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
well, earlier this year, so to me that's a while ago. But Jason in Indianapolis.
Yes, I had a small part in that, but I also did some music for it too.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
speaking of the music, that's something else that I a little birdie said you dabble in, and kind of what music is your everyday? What's on your
Playlist.
Spotify? Yeah.
It's a lot of industrial goth and a lot of heavy metal. So
Oh
new
yeah.
metal, all of that. It's like, I don't know. I use music to kind of shift my moods, I guess you could say. So one day I'll be like, I feel like dance music just to hype me up. And the next day I'm like, I feel like screaming. So I'll put
Oh
on
yeah.
like screamo music. But I've really gotten into the Butcher Babies lately. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know why I've never heard their stuff till now. And like last night, the cat and the dog were looking at me like, "What on earth is going on?" Because I was playing the song they did. They're coming to take me away, and I'm sitting there singing it and doing all kinds of faces and stuff, getting into it, and the dog's just like, so I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I scared the dog. Now the cat's a little used to it now, but another one I really like that I wish more music was coming from is Kim Dracula.
Oh yeah.
Now that one gets my cat hyped up. Like he starts running around the room. He really enjoys Kim Dracula. So, but before that, it was mostly stuff like Combi Christ, Rammstein, things like that. I do love German industrial music too.
Oh yeah. Uh, and with your music that you play,
Mhm.
what got you into that, or was it just the overall scene of just growing up and being an adult that you wanted to just kind of have your hat in many different areas?
Well, I've always been into music since I was a kid. The first one I got into was Barbie and the Rockers, and then after that, it went straight to Madonna. So I've grown up singing. I even got through college for 2 years free for singing in a show choir.
Oh,
But it's like singing's always been a part of my life. My mom always played piano. My dad was a guitar player. My brother was guitar and drums and stuff like that. So I grew up kind of in a musical family. But the stuff I started making a few years ago, it's like I was just sitting in my room and bored. So I start making music out of nowhere. I was like, I like that. So I started writing lyrics right after. And the next day I'd sing this stuff to the music and I record it. I was like, wow, I made a song. So, but since I was 13, I've been writing lyrics as well. So it was like, I don't know. I guess I've been setting myself up for a music career my whole life and I never knew it.
Oh yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, music and movies, especially horror movies, they go hand in hand. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like one thing I want to do with music is make a whole soundtrack for like a horror movie that's just hit you hard.
oh yeah. Yeah. Uh, so is there someone out there that you haven't worked with yet that you would absolutely jump at the bit if you knew this person wanted to work with you or was on a project that you are going to be on? Who would that person be?
Um, I would like to work with Tiffany Shepis in person. I was in a movie where we did scenes together, but I never got to work with her. But I remember so many things when I was younger watching that she was in. And I was like, I want to be like that. So it's like in Chainsaw's Cheerleaders, we had scenes together, but I never was on set with her. So I haven't even gotten to meet her. But I was like, I've seen some movies she's done since then. And I was like, that would be awesome to be in a film with somebody that I was in a film with. So, but yeah. Another
She,
would be Rhonda Shear because
oh yeah.
I grew up watching USA Up All Night. I mean, that was that. Stop Twilight. That was my thing. But it's like I remember catching so many movies on USA Up All Night, and that got me even deeper into it. So it was fun. And now
Uh,
she's back, and some of my friends have filmed with her. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing a Christmas special now. So
oh yeah. Both pioneers in the industry. Uh, Big fans of both of them, so I can see, trust me, I can
oh
see.
yeah.
So let's talk about some of your upcoming movies.
Hmm.
I don't want you to spoil anything because I don't want you to get in trouble, but there's one called Final Rest Area. Uh,
Final rest area. That was fun, actually. We went to a place called Quitman to film with Joey Trawick and Curtis Everett. There were other actors I had never met before, so that was cool. And I remember on the way to the set, Curtis drove me, and I was like, "Do I really have to hit a kid with like a belt?" And he's like, "Your kid's 21 years old." I said, all right. I didn't really hit him. Well, I mean to, but I was playing a mommy dearest character, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I just remember that movie very vividly in my head. So I was mommy dearest to the extreme. And the thing is, there were wine bottles out and liquor bottles that had been like, I guess they were going to use them for decoration. And I picked one up. I was like, this see, mommy dearest is going to be drunk. Oh my gosh. And then I also played one of the killers in it. So that was pretty fun. I was Gato, which had a cat mask. That was really cool. So I can't wait to see all this put together. But there was one point where I beat my kid with a hat, actually a couple of times. I ended up they handed me a belt and I just remember seeing people mostly Pootie Tang whip his belt off. So I tried to do that. And we had to stick a box in front of the guy's backside so I could hit that. Well, the box moved and I was like, oh my gosh. And I beat again because the kid's like, God. So that was like the most far out I've gone for a character, I think.
oh yeah,
But that one's gonna be interesting. So
definitely looking forward to that.
oh yeah.
Uh, let's go to your next one. Scream Queen's Weenie Roast.
Yes. So that I just filmed my scene, I think it was in August. I went up to Tennessee, hung out with Donald for a few days. So that was cool to get to catch up with them. And we filmed my scene. That one's gonna be in. extreme movie that I think everybody needs to watch. The weenies are not hot dog weenies, but yeah. But I've seen some of the behind the scenes pictures, and there's blood. There's a lot of blood, so I'm like really excited about that one.
Oh yeah. So there Darby's Scream House, which I've seen like some rumblings of, haven't really gotten too much of what the story is because I don't want to, again,
Yeah.
if just don't I don't want you to get in trouble because I know sometimes people get angry. So if you can just kind of explain how your character plays into that movie and what that movie's about.
So the movie is like a horror movie that takes off of Barbie, but Barbie's a little woohoo. So, and the reason is because of my character. I played her little sister, Tripper. Tripper gets a lot of nonsense started, and it's just a bizarre like trail of a whole lot of death. So, yeah. But that's the one that I lived till the end, and I'm like, how'd I do that? So, but that
Oh
was a
yeah.
lot of fun. That was my first time on set since 2017. So super
Oh,
nervous, but everybody was super helpful.
oh yeah. Then you got and this one says production unknown, but it's a TV miniseries, The Man in the Face.
That one, I don't know why I'm on that. I'm not doing it. So I've got to
Oh,
find out a way to get that off my IMDb.
oh,
Yeah.
all right. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and out of all of the ones that I've mentioned, this is the one that's really been like I this is the one I've been looking forward to talk about.
Hmm.
Nuns versus Sharks.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I got to play a nun. And for that, I actually took all my piercings out. I look like a nun. But that was insane because I'm actually having to fight invisible sharks. So the imagination had to come in full force with that. And I got to fall in a lake, which I was supposed to, but I still accidentally fell in it in real life. Like I was backing up and then I start, whoa, no, and I just fall flat into it. I do not recommend swimming with a nun suit on. It's very hard. So we couldn't like behind the scenes we couldn't get me out of the water. So I was like, you know what? I'm swimming for sure. Because at some point something really big swam under my legs. I
Mm.
told them, no, something's in the water with me. They're like, no, that's just the movie. I said, no, there is something huge, like a giant dog size, swimming under my legs right now. And they're like, get her out, get her out. So I said, I'm done. I'm swimming. I took off swimming towards shore, and I climbed up on this rocky shore. I was like, dude, I don't know what that was, but I told y'all last time we were filming, there's something in the water because there was a like the first time we shot in the water, there was this big mass in front of one of the decks, and I told him, and then I was like, the big mass is gone. And they're like, you sure you're not seeing stuff? I said, no, I'm telling you it's there. And I think that's what it was this giant thing under the water that swam under my legs. Because, I mean, my feet actually lifted up from it. And I was like, I don't know what's in there, but I'm getting out.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so with everything you've done and where you are and where you see yourself in the future,
Mhm.
if you could go back to when you were 10 and what you know now, what advice would you give 10-year-old you?
Um, don't actually believe you can't be an actor or actress or filmmaker when you live in a small town because it can happen. You just have to kind of figure out how to work around the small town part. Because my town, I don't know, I hear there's like 3,000 people in it, but I don't know where they're hiding. So, but when I was a kid, I always told myself, yeah, I'm never going to make it as an actress because I live here. But I don't know. It's like I would tell them, just work for it. Keep going, make little films yourself, get a little camera, and post them on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, so there's one more movie I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen the trailer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk Video Maniacs.
Video Maniacs. That's a fun one. I love working with this guy because he makes like the trippiest, weirdest videos. Yeah, he actually found me on Instagram, which I was like, Instagram. I never thought of using this one to get try to find movie parts. But yeah, he my first one I did was a trip report, which if you haven't seen that, you should definitely check that one out. Um this one, the Video Maniacs, is like an anthology type film. So I was opening in that. Well, there was a scene before mine, but my scene that starts with the credits and everything, that comes right after the first scene where they have two people talking in the front. And then I go to town screaming again. So, but my part was I use my mom and dad's workshop a lot because I'm here taking care of my dad. So that's got a lot of creepy stuff out in it. And I was out there and pretty much I had to come up with whatever I wanted to say. And I'm flipping bags and everything, saying there are no files in here. And then like I I die. So, but I don't know. The whole film, from what I've seen, is really cool. It's like it draws you in. You're like, what's gonna happen next? So it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So we're kind of coming to the near the end of the show. I do want to give you the floor for a couple minutes to plug your socials where people can or cannot reach out to you. That's entirely up to you.
Okay.
Plug your movies where they can or where they can watch them, or plug what you got coming up, and just
Mhm.
plug whatever you want to plug.
Cool. So, you can find me under any of these social media sites except X. I'm not on there. I couldn't figure that one out years ago. But all of them I'm under the name of Anna Xaden, ANAXADEN. I'm on TikTok a lot. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads and Facebook a lot. You can also find my modeling site on Model Mayhem under the same name. So that one it's just like modeling work where I find photographers and stuff like that. And I'm on BandLab under Anna Xaden. And let's see, SoundCloud as well.
All right.
Pretty much my movies, you can find some videos of me on Donald Farmer's. Uh, I think it's that Donald there or something. That Donald right there, I think is his name of his YouTube. On YouTube, also you can find different trailers of me on Horror Business Productions and Saint Studios Productions. I think that one it has a lot of movies I'm in. Also, Matthew Mark Hunter has me in a couple of his things on his page too, so that's pretty cool to check out. I did some music for some of his films, and most of the other stuff is on DVD.
All
Like
right.
I know the James Balsamo movies are all on DVD. Donald Farmer's his are on DVD. You can't find Chainsaw Cheerleaders on DVD anymore. I think I found one signed copy, but it was like $300. So if you're a collector, go to eBay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Uh,
everybody else is on DVD, so it's pretty cool.
all right.
Hmm.
I want to thank you, Anna, for coming on, and
Thank you for
you.
having me.
It's an honor and a pleasure. Trust me. And I always tell everybody, once you've been on NC-17, you have a home with us. You are more than welcome to come on, talk about movies, plug movies, or even just to say, Josh, you got a booger in your nose. I clean it out every day though. So,
Thank you. I've had a
uh,
lot of fun doing this.
oh yeah. I do want to thank you, and please definitely follow her career. She is a phenomenal actress, and she is definitely branded a very good scream queen. Personal
Thank you.
opinion, but still.
Thank you.
But yeah, everybody, until next time, stay in C17.
Bye bye.